Look at this, 27,000 miles.
It's gas, and what are your plans on putting a four-cylinder Cummins in here? Now that it's starting to get broke down, you can kind of see what, like you just said, the intake is here. Here's the high pressure pump. You can see where the lines are running to. It's still a cluster, you know what, this engine.
Not taking the truck today. Come on, Loon, hop in the new Wit. Get in a new Wit. Got the remote start. Look at this. 27,000 miles. Look at the interior on this car. Loon, are you digging it? This is the first car in my entire life that I have ever owned.
This is a 2012 Ford Fusion, and it was an originally owned car by my grandma. Got it from my grandma, and it has low miles, 27,000 miles in the past like 12 or 13 years, which is not much. She drove it to church, drove it to the grocery store, and that's pretty much about it. 5 miles here and there. But she bought it brand new, and if you walk around, I mean, it's a pretty nice looking car. It's got 0 issues, and she's not driving anymore. So it was time for the car to go. So we ended up with it, and here it is. It's everything that you would probably want out of a car, especially from 2012. This thing's got like all the options. It's got heated seats. It's got a sunroof. It's got all the wood grain and all that in there. Power seats, whatever the case is. It was definitely top of the line back then in terms of options. She kept it in great shape. It's very clean. I almost feel bad putting the dog in here. I'm gonna have to get seat covers or something because it's gonna get dirty real quick. But I'm gonna try to take care of this car as good as she did, because over the past 13 years, the thing's like spotless. It's in great shape. And I've been thinking, I'm driving back and forth to the shop here. It's about 30 minutes each way. Sometimes driving the pickup truck in and driving it back, wasting all the fuel when we don't need the truck that day. So this is going to be a nice second option to save a little bit on the fuel. Car gets great gas mileage, so it's going to beat the pickup truck by a ton. And I'm still going to have the truck, don't worry, but I'm not going to need it every day because we have Steve's gold truck, so we can use that. And my truck will kind of be a backup, but it's still going to be there. We're going to use it with the trailer and whatnot. But drove it home from Pennsylvania yesterday, and it did great. It's going to need a set of tires because they're actually starting to dry rot from its time sitting. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's pop the hood, see what type of fuel this thing runs on. Yeah, it's like spotless. It looks like the day it came off the showroom floor. The antifreeze is clean. Obviously, all the fluids are up to spec. I'm pretty sure our grandma didn't have this thing probably over 30 miles an hour ever, so it never got into like its overdrive gear. It's gas, and what are your plans on putting a four-cylinder Cummins in here?
Maybe one day.
There's enough room, I think, but also at the same point, let's use this for exactly what you just said. And take a quick look at what we sold this weekend on eBay. Show the golf course mower that sold this weekend. That's going to Alabama. Every time we buy one of those, and it gets sold to someone down south. Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama. Is that the 5th or 6th one, I think?
Yeah.
Last year we did a bunch of them. We did 4 or 5, I forget. But this is the first one this year. We did really well. Not to show anyone's addresses here, but we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that sold this weekend. We usually find out that like Saturdays are like the hottest day of the week because everyone's off work, they're home, they're probably working on their truck in their driveway or their garage, and they need parts. We have a plow controller going to Connecticut, $300.
And this came with the that parts truck we got last week for $1,000 for the entire truck. Yep. That was still on the trailer actually. We said let's pull the controller out first because we know we're not going to get to that truck for a week or two, and let's just throw this for sale. It will sell immediately, and it did. We sold an air box, a blower fan housing, heater box. That's going to be down there. That's been sitting there, but that's the whole point. Once it sells, we already made our money back on the truck that it came off of. We sold the 2 PCMs, and then the big thing that sold is right behind you. Transmission, 2-wheel drive transmission out of a 2012, I think it was, with a 6.2 gas in it, 80,000 miles, 2-wheel drive, going from New Jersey all the way to California, straight shot right across the whole country. And we're going to continue on with our day. This green truck is going to get stripped down today as much as we possibly can. All right, without further ado, we're going to use our red plastic. It's almost like a putty knife, but it's a clip remover tool. We're going to take one of the most profitable and the easiest to sell item off of this truck. That would be the emblems here. F450 or V8 Power Stroke for the 6.4. Here we go. Here's the first one. Top part just has clips, and then the bottom part also just has clips, and this just kind of sits like this.
We're gonna strip this truck down in one day. Let's get after it. Now for the blue truck, we can figure out some more stuff that we have never ventured into before. Just looking at the motor, it's a heck of a lot easier to see what's going on when it's sitting right in front of you. So, what do you think of that? I mean, how the hell would you work on this in the truck?
Look at how much oil there is, though.
I'm saying to get the turbo off, though, and change a fuel pump in the back. How are you getting at that?
Pressure pump, is it under this cover?
I guess so. I mean, that's just not even... By the time you spend taking all of these parts off, I feel like under the hood, it's not even worth the hassle. I would just pull a cab.
Yeah, how are you going to get to all of this? So, I mean, it's nice to see. We were looking at the blue truck under the hood to see where the lines are going. I mean, yeah, it's easier to see now when you can stand right here and look right at it.
Free diesel. It's red diesel. My question is, why is this truck have red diesel? The airport truck was one thing that we had, but this, I mean, this is a township truck. Why is this is driving on public roads. Why is there off-road diesel? Why are they not paying tax on the diesel? Kind of seems unfair, doesn't it? Everybody else around here, this is not legal to be doing this, so I don't understand why do they have the rules and they don't follow them. I don't know.
Put it in the forklift.
We're going to put it in the forklift, yeah, exactly. This is not going to go off-road, it's going to go in our forklift. I don't know.
Rules for thee, but not for me. Gotta love that. Oh, it's dry.
What is... Very minimal play.
We're taking the plow mount off, some of the bigger, heavier stuff. That'll go on eBay. It's Meyer's plow mount. Working back here, we got the hitch plate off. That was just bolted and snipped the welds before from the dump body. We're gonna drop the axle tomorrow. That's gonna be tomorrow's project, but we're gonna finish up after the snowplow mount underneath here. We're gonna start taking some of this back part apart. There we go. It's off. Here's the one part I think that we are going, well, maybe not the one part, but I think this is kind of what we're after on that other blue truck out of the garage. And you know, taking the covers off and all this with the cab off, it's easy to see what's going on here. If you look here, can you see that?
Yeah.
See the covers, and this is covering your high pressure fill pump here where you have your lines running. So we're gonna undo that. I think we're gonna undo that tomorrow, but this is very similar to like a 6-liter where the intake is right here and your cover is right here, whereas the high pressure oil pump on a 6.0 is sitting right back here. It looks almost the same from the back cover, just looking very similar. So anyways though, we're gonna figure out what's wrong with this motor tomorrow. We're gonna pull the glow plugs out and see if we can get it to spin. But we're still gonna go the route of stripping all of these parts down, and then we are going to take the parts that we're after and hopefully be able to do something with that other truck, which would be very nice. But after looking at it, it's not too bad, but it's kind of like, how would you get any of these parts off in the truck, especially these exhaust pipes coming up? I don't know, some of the bolts are breaking. If the bolts broke off there in the truck, you're helpless there. It's going to be impossible, especially on this side. I can show them this stud on the manifold snapped off. I mean, that's an impossible job inside the truck, so near impossible, not worth it.
My question, Ford kept putting the 6.0 in the vans and ambulances up until 2010.
Yep.
They never saw the 6.4.
They never did.
So let's just say this was a van, which it's not. They didn't put them in. Did they put them in any of them?
I don't think so, because it doesn't fit.
It'd be nice to just pull the cowl thing out inside the thing. Thing to get right to this.
Yeah.
Like on a 7.3 or a 6.0 van, if we're changing the turbo or doing something, this would take. It'd be right there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna watch our best friends on YouTube, our other channels that we follow. Are you able to take the turbos out and do this high pressure fuel pump with the cab on? Versus taking the radiator and all the coolers and the bolts and the steering and unhooking everything? I don't know.
Yeah.
Now that it's starting to get broke down, you can kind of see what, like you just said, the intake is here. Here's the high pressure pump. You can see where the lines are running to. It's still a cluster, you know what, this engine.
Yes, it is.
It's covered in oil, but where? Where did it come from? The intercooler pipes were full. Did the turbo give out? This part of the turbo is spinning fine and has no play, and it's dry. Did an injector punch a hole? They're saying number 8. I forget if number 8's on this side or this side on the 6.4.
Yeah.
The number 8 cylinder is very common to blow a hole in the top of the piston and literally just pump oil out.
I think it's supposed to bend connecting rods too, right? Did the EGR cooler go bad and it just dumped a bunch of coolant back in the motor? Who knows?
Seized
We
or
don't know.
hydro-locked.
We don't know, yeah.
We'll find out, but things do the craziest things from all the videos we've seen from people who work on these things for a living. I could never.
Yeah, and actually the funny thing is that one little problem could be a whole engine tear down, and before you know it, you're switching a piston, switching a cylinder head, something like that, and then you're way deeper into it than just fixing something that broke externally.
I mean,
or that
I'll
caused the
rephrase-
problem.
I'll rephrase it because I could work on these every day for part mount. Easy. Take the parts off. We got our giant pile of parts over there. We're even near done and list them on eBay. To take them apart, I could never like take this motor apart and rebuild it and put it back together.
Yeah.
Like a 7.3 or a 6.0 if you're doing cylinder heads on a 6. It's like all that's straightforward. This, no way. And no regular old general automotive shop is working on these motors here because they don't want to put their name on it. If they come in just to replace the turbos and then 1,000 miles later something else blows up, it's like...
They want to point fingers at who did it, and then it's just like, well, who I mean, there's a million possibilities.
Still, no one really thinks, like these trucks look really good when they're put together. People still think these trucks are new. They stopped making this in 2010. That's 15 years ago.
Exactly.
15 years of being in a truck and working and probably not changing the fluids and stuff. 15 years later on anything, really, unless it's a 7.3. But 7.3s still need everything. 6-liters still need everything. To get them up to speed, 7.3s are 25 years old. Some are even older than that. But, I mean, look at this. The point of this video is to see this, but, like, this is what we're able to get done while taking breaks, a lunch break, listing some parts in between, start to stop. The dump body is already off. The fuel tank's about to come out. Drive shafts are off. The cab's off. The doors are all listed. I mean, like the plow mount, this is what we were able to get done in a 6-hour span, right? While Jim is working on a video and I'm working on this and we're taking lunch breaks and like we're not even full force. If we did 8 hours before I just got the whole thing done.
Exactly.
I think. To get this far, I think is pretty good. We're happy. This is just gunk, grease build up. Well, look at it. It's like, it's in perfect shape. And it's a shame that this motor's in it.
It is.
If this was any motor other than this, we would have probably put a motor in it and not parted it out. Because we don't want to deal with it. We don't want to put a 6.4. If you're going to take a 6.4 out, you might as well just part it out and make your money that way. In our opinion, for what we're doing in this business at least.
I mean, we'll see more. We're learning every day. Like, I hope you guys are learning something too out there. It's pretty cool seeing it come apart very quick. So